Phil Jamieson, welcome to noise11.com as a solo artist, Phil. After all the years of being able to talk to you in various different stages of the career, this is the first time. Well, technically, as the solo artist, what about the Lost Gospel? Do you class that as a solo project?
Good point. No one ever mentions that.
Well, congratulations on something else. What a great sound. Like the first thing I thought of when I heard the song was, why has this taken so long? If Phil Jamison's capable of doing this on this one song, why hasn't he done it before?
I don't know, but I think there's a bit of a push and pull within creativity, and also there's a certain level of me wanting to keep it for myself and dancing around my living room because it's mine. And also there's a sense of like when you do release something, it feels a bit self-important, like to be carrying on about it. And I'm just want to kind of keep it small. I'm really glad you like the song, and that's really flattering. And I love it too. And it's been floating for a while. I don't know why. I think there was talk in like early 2019. Grinspoon went in to do some recording, and there's three really big creative forces in that band. And it kind of didn't really work. I was going down this path, which was, I guess, whatever this is, dad pop or whatever you want to call it, I think, which is where I was kind of heading. There was like a lot of different kind of genres happening in that recording, which is usual for our band. And so I kind of went away and recorded this with Oscar last year. And it's kind of how it came out. But yeah, thanks for liking it. I really like it as well.
We'll talk about the production with Oscar in a moment. Firstly, I want to ask you about that opening line. If you could be someone else, would you turn back time? Are you confronting your own past head on with this song?
Oh, deep question. If you could be somebody else, would you turn back time? No, I'm not. It's more like it. It's got a bit of my two favorite things, like identity crises and time travel. So there's a bit of Marty McFly, Back to the Future, and there's a bit of Cher, If I Could Turn Back Time, and there's a bit of that classic Gwyneth Paltrow film, Sliding Doors. That butterfly effect of what you could do. I'm not really talking about myself, I don't think. I think it's more about would it be fun to be someone else for a day? And also, in some ways, maybe the past, maybe you could be right. Maybe it is about myself. I don't know. People have asked me a lot what this song's about. And I'm like, you tell me.
How philosophical do you get with time then? Is time real?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I don't really know. I don't really get that philosophical with it, to be honest. I just think it's one of those songs that is open to interpretation, which I really like. So it can be super deep, or it can be, just a fun little tune. Because I mean, the rhythm section, the bongos, and the bass line indicate fun little hip shaking moments. But for the philosophical nature of it, yeah, sure, it's probably got some deep thoughts behind it. And if it is in reference to myself, that's cute, but also it's a little bit self-indulgent. So yeah, in the same way More Than You Are was about me when I wrote that in 1995, this song probably is about me as well, in some ways.
You're so vain, you probably think this song is about you.
There you go. Boom.
Now, this Oscar is Oscar Dawson of Holly Holly. So, like he's got his own band, but he's also got this. Is this something he's doing more and more of in the production world?
I think he's very much an incredible producer and great musician. He's partner of Ali Barter, who's done a bunch of production for Ali as well. And he knows his shit. There's no doubt about that. And there's a lot of personality involved in this. There's a lot of trust when it's scary. It's scary giving someone a song, or letting them do their stuff with it. But yeah, he's really fun to hang with. He's highly intelligent, great jokes, and plays a mean guitar, and can sing. And like, I'm pretty lazy as a recording artist. I'm like, do I have to? And also, the fiddly bits of tuning guitars and drives me sort of bonkers. I'm very much an immediate type of person. So he was really great, coaxed me in, whipped me into shape when he needed to, and got me where it needed to be. I think he did a great job on this track.
I like the fact that it was recorded in Dandenong, and as you've stated, in a cul-de-sac surrounded by boats, solar, and brothels. Oh, it's a perfect recording environment, isn't it?
Well, it's like any industrial area across Australia. That's where the boats are, the solar providers and the brothels. Beautiful cul-de-sac. I'd never spent much time in Dandenong before, but I definitely spent a fair bit of time there doing this record. It's great. I mean, there was not much to do but do music out there, which was perfect for that environment. And by no means the salubrious surroundings, but it was, I guess it's all in the end product, right? Like what we end up listening to, and we ended up listening to this. And for me personally, if I can listen to myself, it's a win, because I really set myself I'm a pretty hard marker, and I immediately chuck stuff out if I don't like it. So for me to get through it, however many times I've had to listen to it, maybe 1,000 times, that's probably a good sign that it's okay for me, So yeah.
And the video made in Melbourne as well. Where's the filming locations for that? Where are those the shopping strip and the shops and things that you're walking around?
We did Arlo Cook, the director, who's also worked with Bob Evans and UMI, an incredible director. He moonlights as a cinema guy at Palace Cinemas in the city at Keno. So we shot the cinema there at about 9 a.m. And then we went over to a friend of mine, Jim Clark, who owns Champion Abbotsford, a motorcycle mechanic shop, and he's great. So we shot when I was a motorcycle mechanic there. And then 1-800 Lasagna, I think it's in Northcote. Joey Kellock, who's an old friend from Big Day Out Days, he owns that. So he let me be a delivery guy in 1-800 Lasagna at costume. And then Brunswick Ballroom, I was doing a show that night, a solo show, coincidentally with Davey Lane. And so we shot some of the hero stuff in my Anna Cordell suit. So it was, I'd forgotten how annoying film clips were, but Arlo did a great job, and he, like most things, he kept me on my toes, but he's done a great job. I think the video is really.
Davey Lane, who you just mentioned, you will be touring with when you take this out on tour. Davey opening with his band, The Pitchers.
Yeah, that's such a get, right? I don't think they've toured for 18 years. Well, maybe they're 18 years ago. I don't know. Maybe it's only 10 years. But yeah, he agreed to reform the trio. I don't know whether this is an exclusive, but I think there might be some new music in the works for The Pictures. So yeah, really excited to have him on the road to do the tour. It's going to be really fun. He's obviously co-produced but he co-produced a fair amount of this debut album alongside Oscar. So having both of those guys work on it was just a privilege and an honor, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite the parallel with you and UMI, isn't there? I mean, recently I saw you out with the Sticky Fingers Rolling Stones tribute shows with Tim Rogers also in that.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Is that a lot of fun when you're getting up there? Like you're doing a classic album from beginning to end, so obviously you can't ad lib around that too much. It pretty much has to be the original record. So how do you get on stage and emulate something that Mick Jagger created 50 years ago?
You can't. I found that the material really quite challenging, because you don't want to be a pastiche of what Mick. Like the Stones are so idiosyncratic, I think, like they are who they are. It was challenging that tour. Well, just the material. So the short answer is, it's tricky, because you don't want to be, it's Tim's like, it's kind of like a cabaret show. that's what it is, essentially. You've got Tex, Tim, Adelita, and myself, and there's big personalities, and the songs are great. Tim and Tex have got Rolling Stones in their blood. There's no doubt about that. Like, you could see that at the performance at the theatre, I think, every night. Me and Adelita had to learn a bit more and work a little harder, I think. Well, from me perspective, I don't know how Adelita felt about it. But it's a joy. The band were cooking. They're such a great band. And, it was after the 2 years we've had, it was just great to be playing to people again, regardless of what material it was. But I found learning those songs to be pretty tricky because I didn't want to pretend to be, Mick. And also the way he sings stuff it's just him. There's no, it's a tricky gig, that one. They're doing it again. They're doing Exile, but I can't do it because I'm doing something else. But that's a tricky record as well. Definitely. I think I've done the Beatles stuff, the White Album, and I find that a little bit, for me personally, a little bit easier to sort of navigate. Stones is that's a beast, that stuff.
Okay, so you got the tour starting in July. Will you be mixing any of the Grinspoon material with the solo?
Any cover songs, I like to call them.
Covering Grinspoon.
Yeah, I'll be covering. Look, I think there's certain songs that I love covering, for want of a better term, in the set. But having a full album of my own material is going to be heavily liberating. But yeah, there'll be a mixture of stuff. Like I can guarantee you, I'm not playing Chemical Heart or Champion or Hard Act to Follow or any of that, big Grinspoon numbers. I think that's disingenuous to the band, and it's unfair, and it's just not right. I would never do that. It doesn't seem right to do. There might be some select deep cuts off some records. I've been playing Violent and Lazy recently off Grinspoon's second album, Easy. I dedicate it to anti-vaxxers. Violent and Lazy. But yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really worked at the set, but there's a full album to tour now. But yeah, there might be a lot. Now you mentioned it, maybe a Lost Gospel track chucked in there as well. I'd forgotten about. There's another record I did sort of solo. So, and maybe just a cover of, I don't know, Motorhead. Why not? Let's throw that in there or something. I don't know. There you go. So
off we go.
Yeah, there we go. What a lovely segue. So I haven't worked at the set list yet, but it's going to lean heavily on the new material, and there might be a selection of cover songs thrown in from various artists.
Well, I look forward to the shows. We look forward to the album, and right now we can hear Somebody Else, which is streaming everywhere. So thank you, Phil.
Thanks so much, buddy. Cheers.